What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rusty Nuts Media. Last episode, we showed you the new car. It was the Camaro over here. So in this episode, what I'm going to be doing is looping the heater core hoses. Somebody tore the inside all to hell and back. Going to replace the heater core, but also you have to take out a lot of this stuff too. I don't feel like doing all that. We don't need a heater core right now. I'm going to bypass it up here in the engine bay, put all the interior back together. I want to drive this thing down the road today, so that's what I'm going to be working on. So here we go. All right, looking under the hood here, you've got two heater core hoses running up this way. One connects right here on the water pump, the other one right back here. So all we're going to do is take these loose, move them over here out of the way, zip tie them out of the way, and then just loop these lines right here. That way we don't have to worry about it. I think the heater core was leaking into the floor, so as soon as all this is disconnected, there will be no more coolant or water or anything dripping in the floor up there. Get that fixed. Get the interior back together, loop these lines. This thing should be good to take its first drive down the road. So let's get this looped. All right, and just like that, line has been looped. These are tucked over here out of the way. We still got our little ground wire coming up here. Everything under the hood is good to go. Now, it's gonna be putting all of this back together. And it is a hot day today. So this is gonna be fun. Okay, so I'll show you what we've got going on here. So I went ahead and cleaned out everything in the car. All I've got in here right now is the dash pad, because that's gonna go in first, along with the gauges up here. And then we can get the steering column bolted back in, because you've got to unbolt this to drop it down to get the dash in, and then pick it up, bolt it back in. So I have the dash, the steering column in, the gauges in. From there, we'll move on to these parts, which is the pillars, the dash gauge bezel, the glove box, all this little stuff, the ashtray, all this visual stuff. Eventually, we want to put air conditioning and heat back in this car so we can drive it wherever, whenever, and just be comfortable. All these old vents are pretty much useless, so they're going to have to be replaced eventually anyways. Most of the dash is probably going to be replaced, along with some of the seats getting repaired, you know, stuff like that. But for now, we just want to get this thing drivable so we can cruise around in it. We can see what else is wrong with it, you know, what else it needs, what needs to be adjusted, fixed, replaced, whatever. So today, I'm mainly just getting the car back together, make a list, what we need, start ordering stuff, get this thing drivable to where you can just get in it, hit the key, go, wherever you want to go. So I'm going to start working on getting this dash in. I do know you have to drop the steering column, so we're going to unbolt that, drop it down a little bit, get this dash back in, pick the steering column back up, bolt it in. From there, it's just all this little stuff going back on. So hopefully, this won't be too bad. The only other thing is there's just piles of screws and bolts in both floorboards. Not entirely sure where everything goes. I'm just kind of going by feel at this point. I don't have any manuals, anything like that. I'm just going to wing it. It's not too bad because it's all going to have to come back out anyways, so it's just part of it. So I'm going to see how quickly I can get this dash back in, and I'll update you in a minute. All right, it's been about an hour. Got a bunch of leftover screws, a bunch of leftover pieces, but the dash is back in the car. That looks 100 times better already. Now, I said I'd like to go for a drive, and I think I'm going to in just a minute. Checking the oil, checking the coolant. I'm going to make sure the brakes work, and I think I'm going to take a drive to the car wash. I'll probably try to wash the car off really good, vacuum out the floor under the seats if I can get to them. Just clean it up a little bit because this thing needs a little love, a little care. So I'm going to do that, and yeah, I think that's the plan. Exhaust leak. Probably about to run out of gas too. I think we're gonna try to get it to the gas station, fill it up with some fresh gas, and probably go to the car wash and try to clean it up a little bit. Just drive this thing. It hasn't been driven in so long. See how the brakes feel, see how the tires feel, see what else we need for it. So I'm gonna let it warm up and then we'll see if we can go. brakes are a little bit squishy. The oil light's staying on. I checked it. It's got oil pressure. It's got oil, so. Well, so far so good. We've got it here at the car wash. We went ahead and stopped. We put air in all the tires. They're all good. We vacuumed out the interior. It's pretty clean now. What else have we done? We've done a couple things. I've adjusted the carburetor a little bit to keep it idling. And now we're gonna give it its first car wash in probably a long time, many years probably, if I had to guess. I'm gonna scrub it really good. The interior is probably gonna leak, but I guess we're gonna find out. Well, we made it back home. Car did great. A little loose here and there. The brakes are a bit spongy and needs a little bit of work, but it does crank up. It does drive, no problem at all. So moving forward, we're going to do a little bit of body work on it. Some of the rust that's on it, we're going to sand it down, prime it really good. Try to paint it in the next coming weeks or months, whatever it is. Do the brakes, probably some bushings or some stuff in the suspension to stiffen it back up. But overall, the car did great. It's cleaner than it was. I'm not gonna say it's fully clean, but it's a lot better than it was. It doesn't leak nearly as bad as I thought it did, but moving forward, we'll get some new seals, do some air conditioning, heat, other stuff like that, radio. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.